Hi everybody, we're here in California and we're going to show you, it's kind of exciting, we're going to be able to actually show you a T1X2. I was finally able to get my hands on one. We're shipping this one out pretty soon, so I grabbed it before we ship it out so we can show you it really quick. So Brittany's with me here, and Brittany, she's the one that ships these things out, so I'm going to let her explain the weight of it and how we ship it and all that.
So as you mentioned, it's our T1X2. It's 38 by 31 by 14 when it ships, and it's 122 pounds. And
we ship by FedEx, and sometimes
FedEx ground, or
just FedEx. Sometimes UPS if we have to.
If somebody requests that. Yeah.
Okay, or someone can get their own shipping.
Or if it's going out of country, we ship DHL.
Yeah.
That includes Canada, DHL. Or if our prices are a little bit too expensive or pricey for overseas, they normally like to get their own shipping company.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna open up the box and start taking a look at what you get inside the box. We're just gonna go ahead and lift it up right now and show you what it looks like.
Whoa.
All right, Brittany, what do we got?
All right, so we have our manual, which we highly recommend you guys to read. If you want to get a head start on it, you can go check out the manual online. You can go ahead and download it. You'll have a PDF version. Here's your hard copy. Keep an eye out for these important warning signs. You're going to see this one, I believe, 2 times. Here's another one behind here. This is just letting you know that we included a shipping bracket on it, and that's for the purpose so that it doesn't get dinged up in shipping, and we've seen that happen before, so we started including the shipping bracket. So the tug is not operable if that's on. You will want to take that off. And so then you'll have your charger. It does come in 2 pieces, so you'll want to plug it in, make sure it's pretty secure in there. You have your spare parts kit. This has some pins, some treads, some links. This little brass toolkit right here, you'll want to keep this probably forever, I would say. You'll need that if you ever want to change out your track, so it will come in handy sooner or later. You have fuses in here, and you have some rotor clips in here. So keep this laying around, it'll definitely help you out.
Yeah.
We have a 1/2-inch tire height spacer plate. This will come standard with all of our T1X2s. We also have an option to get a 3/4-inch plate, and we also have an option to get a 1-inch plate. These plates are normally used for those like really low wheel fairing, like 172. Sometimes we've seen them just too low to where a cradle won't even accommodate it, so you'll have to put this under there so that you can get a little bit more height. That out though once you contact us and let us know what kind of plane you have, and sometimes we will ask of the wheel fairing. So this isn't always going to be needed, but it's always nice to have on the side. And then I'll let Tracy explain to you guys what this is. Okay,
so this is a cradle extender. So what this does is it connects to the back of the cradle, and it gives you this much more height on your cradle. So if you're towing a plane, let's say down a pretty steep hill, you'd want to have this on there, and it just gives you more security that the wheel is not going to jump out.
The reason why the tug is so heavy when we ship it out is because we package it with some really secure foam, and this also helps from it getting damaged during shipping.
Yeah, you know, one other thing I think we should probably mention is that the box is very expensive, and I would keep your box. Do not throw the box away, right?
Yeah.
How many people call us and say, no, we don't have the box, they need to send it back?
Yeah.
So keep this box. It's, you know, throw it up in the top of your hanger somewhere. Rafters, whatever. But do keep it, because this box is expensive, and it is really great for shipping this tug.
Specifically designed
for this tug.
For your tug. And,
yeah,
this is even for like your lights.
So, if you've ever seen FedEx and UPS handle boxes like this, you'll know why it's packaged like this.
Yeah.
Because we've had tugs come back that are not packaged in our box, and they are just a mess. So anyway.
And here in this little box here is your remote. So the remote will come with its own charger. It'll come with a lanyard that you might want to put on. We people have dropped their remotes and they are not cheap. A new remote can cost you anywhere from $500 to $600. So this might be a lifesaver for you. Along with the remote, you'll get this extra battery pack just in case your batteries ever go out in the future, which we hope they won't. You can put this in there and you'll put some rechargeable and it should get you back up and running.
Yeah.
Here's your remote. You have some more buttons so that they're protected, and we also have a plastic covering on the joystick so that it's protected. Here's your antenna. So with this model doesn't have lights, so you'll see that it's plugged here, so we don't have we don't have a switch to put it on or off. You'll have your speeds here, your on and off button here, and your latch, unlatch button here. So you'll have 3 speeds. You'll have slow, which is the turtle. You'll have medium, which is center. And you'll have high, which is the rabbit. And then we'll go ahead and show you how the button works once we take the tug out and use it.
Yeah. One other thing about this remote, not one other thing, but a very important thing, is this thing is billet machined out of solid aluminum. So it's like a very high quality remote. This is not a toy remote that you use on your toy cars that run around. This is a very expensive remote. It's got a Hall effect joystick on it. So what that means, it doesn't have any moving parts in there that'll wear out over time. Basically, this is top quality, and we get this made for us specifically. So you definitely want to take care of the remote. It's a integral part of the whole system.
And then I wanted to show where you plug in the charger. The charger will get plugged in here, and you'll want to keep that on 24/7 along with the tug. They do come with smart chargers, so they will turn on and off as needed. You'll never have to worry about them overheating or overcharging. So.
Yeah, good. All right.
Now to the tug.
Okay, so this is the how it's packaged inside the box. So you can see it's well protected all the way around by the foam. And you definitely want to, again, keep the box around because it protects it really good for shipping. Okay. We're going to take this thing out of the box. It weighs 77 pounds. Let it all the way down. Okay. And you do have the shipping bracket right here that does need to be removed. Now look at the bottom of this thing. If you notice how it's machined out, this thing is all CNC machined. People look at the bottom of this thing and they're just amazed on how much time is spent on this thing to machine it. We're making those plates right now, actually in the shop. So I'm going to take the shipping bracket off. There's 2 socketed cap screws. This is a 3/16 Allen wrench. I use a T-handle because it's easier, faster. Here, Brittany, can you take that and that, and actually take the bracket too. I got the tug.
You might want to keep this too.
Yeah, definitely keep that. I got the tug. Yeah. So now we just set this down, and that's what you need to do, and it's ready to actually start using. We ship it already charged up and ready to go. So we'll go over some of the features here with this tug and show you a little bit about it. Different things that make it stand out different from our other tugs. So I wanted to show you some features here about this tug that make it different from our smaller tugs and make it our biggest seller. This one we sell, I don't know, what, two of these to every one of any of our other tugs, I would, or more. Yeah, we sell a lot of these. This is our most popular. So anyway, it is. It's the most versatile tug, and I'll show you why. Well, for one, it's got 4-inch wide tracks, okay? And 4-inch wide tracks give you a lot of traction. We do have a bigger tug, and it's got a 6-inch wide tracks, and then we have smaller tugs that have a 3-inch wide track. But 4-inch wide track is really good for this particular size of tug. This tug will tow up to an 8,000-pound airplane. The cradle is adjustable, so you can adjust it down. So if you have a plane with wheel pants, you can clear the wheel pants. And you can also put some different spacer plates on here to bring the tire up even more to clear the wheel pants if they're very low. And we even have some added features on there if you're going to be towing something like a Cirrus. A Cirrus, we have very specific attachments for it, and we'll do a video on how you configure this for a Cirrus and show you what all those attachments are. So anyway, you've got an adjustable cradle. It's adjustable height-wise. It also adjusts for the diameter of the tire. So I pull these pins out and I can adjust it out for a large diameter tire, and I can adjust it for a smaller tire. So this will work up to a 6x6 tire easily. And yeah, thank you. That's a tag.
This is also another warning. This lets you know, this is only on the T1X2 tugs, which is that's what this is. It's letting you know where the cradle is positioned, whether it's in the low position or the high, and this one happens to be in the high position. More than likely they either have a tail dragger or they have a non-wheel fairing type of aircraft. So that's the only time it'll pretty much be in the high position. The low position is for the wheel fairing.
Yeah.
So we like to put these there just in case you have a variety of aircraft. You know that it's set up for that specific one that you mentioned to us when you called in.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so just hang on to that. I'm going to show a little bit more about the cradle. Okay, so the cradle, there's a latch back here, and that is controlled by the remote, but you can manually do it as well. There's a manual latch release right here. If you turn the remote on, and the tug's already on, and push the bottom, you can see it is releasing. So go ahead. So now if you release it from the remote, it's ready. You can release it that way as well. Okay, so now I want to show you just a little bit. Okay, before I go under the hood, I'm going to show you these spacers right here are for the width of your tire as well. So if you have a very narrow tail dragger, you can adjust these in. You have two pins you pull out, you adjust these, and you put the pins in, and you can do that on both sides. You can get it into a very narrow size tire. So let me get these back in here. Okay, and let's see, anything else I'm forgetting on the outside? We do ship it with this foam on here. It's kind of funny, a lot of people just leave it on all the time. They never take it off. Underneath this foam is very shiny aluminum. It looks gorgeous. So it's a mirror, yeah. So if you take it off, it's going to look really nice. I'm going to leave it on this one. Right
here, before you open that.
Yeah.
You see right here that you'll see this like little red emblem.
Yeah, badge.
You take it off, it's actually a badge, and it tells you what serial number you have. So normally when you call in, you'll say, hey, I have some, this kind of problem with my tug, and we'll say, okay, well, what tug do you have? And a lot of people do not know their tug.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those.
So we kind of have to dig into your profile and whatnot. So it really does help if you have the serial numbers. Have a serial number by, and also the name to the purchaser of who made the order, whether it be your company name or whether it be a friend that bought it for you or just maybe your name. It really does help us out a lot because it kind of gives us an idea of what year the generation it was.
Yeah, good point. All right. Okay, so under the hood, this thing is just held down by some magnetic clasps. So I just lift it up. This is what we've got underneath here. We've got a 24-volt battery. Now this battery is, this is our biggest size battery that we have. And the smaller tugs like a T1 V2 and the T Mini, they have a battery that's half this size. It's still a 24-volt battery, the half-size one, but it has half the range. So this one will go the farthest out of all of the small and medium-sized tugs. The large tugs have two of these batteries, so they will even go further. So that's one of the advantages of the bigger tug. Of the motors inside of here, these are AC brushless motors, and they're going into a planetary gearbox on either side, and the planetary gearbox is a 16-to-1 reduction, and it goes out and it's a direct drive straight to the tracks. So I wanted to show you on these tracks. The tracks have a link on the side. These are stainless steel links, and then there's a rod going through every inch. So basically what you have with these tracks, it's a matrix of links on the side. It's almost like a bicycle chain, and then the rod's going through, and then the bicycle chain on the inside. And then the track itself is a plastic bottom part, and it's polypropylene, if that means anything to you. And then it's got a rubber top for the traction. So it's really just a big stainless steel mesh with these rubber plastic pieces in between for the traction. So that's kind of what the tracks are.
Then you have your PC board.
Oh yeah, and we do have the PC board. All the electronics are mounted right on the PC board here, so if anything happens and you need to repair it, you pull this out. There's a few wires you got to disconnect. Pull this out. We send you a new one. You put it in, and you're ready to go. On the PC board, we do have a voltmeter, so you can push this to see what the voltage is. Right now, this is saying 29.1 volts. That's a fully charged battery. So this thing, we pulled it out of the box, and it's fully charged and ready to go. So yeah. So
and your fuses are right here. Sometimes customers will say, where are they? So I'll just show you right here.
Yeah,
here's a fuse here, there's a fuse there,
yep.
And then you also have a breaker, and the breaker's down here.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, anything else? And this one does not have the lights. You can get it with lights, and they would be mounted up on the top. That's another option. And I think that's it for the inside. Here's the on-off switch right here. When you turn it on, it'll make this beep, 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 beep sound, and you probably heard it. And a little light comes on around the edge there. There's a little hole right there too, actually. And if you're wondering what that hole is, you if you have your plane on here, let's say you have a plane with a fairing, and all of a sudden it stalls for some reason. You think you got to reset the circuit breaker. You push something down through that hole, and it'll hit that circuit breaker, and you can reset the circuit breaker without having, if you can't open the top up because you have your plane on here. So that's what that little hole is right there.
In terms of the power button, it is red. I've never seen it turn green before. We've had that question before. It'll say red, pretty much indicating that the tug is still on. So you always want to make sure that you turn that off when you're done towing it into the hangar.
Yeah.
The charging compartment for it is back here. There's a little...
Turn it around. We'll show you where the charger is, or charging plug. So the charging plug, go ahead, is right there, if you can point to that.
Right here.
Yeah. So you just plug the charger in and leave it on, shut off by itself, and not overcharge the battery. So, and I think that's it.
One other question that customers may have sometimes is if it's okay to leave the tug underneath the plane after they've been done towing for the day. That is okay. The president has tugs like this. He has planes. He leaves them on there. It doesn't damage or affect the plane at all.
Yeah, but you do have to make sure that you bring your charger over then
right.
And still charge it. You want to make sure you leave it on the charger whenever you're not using it.
Right.
But you can't leave it under the plane, like you said.
Yeah, if you have it set up like that.
No problem. One other thing, when we're at shows showing these things, a lot of times people look at it and they see the plastic sides and they go, is that just for the show so we can see inside? And I said, no, that's the way they ship. So I mean, you can see inside there, and it really, you can see all the machining we do is pretty outrageous. It's really a nicely machined assembly. So, okay. So now we're going to talk about the tail dragger adapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is a tail dragger adapter. It's not necessary. You don't need it for every tail dragger, but a lot of pilots like to feel secure when they buy this, and we'll show you why. So this is an adapter that will go on top of the cradle, and so then you'll just lay this on here. You'll put the push pins in. You have one for each side, and then these little red screws, you'll tighten them up, and it'll be locked in its place.
Good. That's for your tail dragger. So then that would be for a smaller wheel, so it won't be going forward and back. But it's really more important to adjust this for the tail dragger than this way, because this way is not it's not really a big deal. It's just going to go to one side and then you're done. But if it turns sideways in the cradle, if the wheel turns sideways, it's really difficult to get it straightened out again. So you just got to make sure you adjust these for the tail dragger. And
right.
If you got this, that's fine. Use it. It's a nice feature.
It's a nice feature, but it's not mandatory to have.
Not 100%.
Yeah.